It's a true biker's dream to reach this place at least once in his lifetime. It's a moment to be cherished for a lifetime. This vlog is actually a photolog of my solo ride from Mumbai to Ladakh and back in the year 2016. Back then, the craze of shooting videos was not much popular among the masses as it is today. Also, apart from GoPro, only SJ Cam was recently launched. Other than that, there was no other brand. So this ride was only full of photos, though one of my friend gave his SD cam to me, but on the ride the SD card got corrupted past Manali. I had to wait for 3 years to turn this ride into reality, as every year it used to get postponed for some or the other reason. The reason to ride solo was most of my friends used to back out at very last minute. So this year I was destined to ride solo if no one is ready to come. I was happy and nervous at the same time. As the time neared, I started making some purchases like riding jackets, gloves, knee guards, shoes, etc., and some changes in my bike like wider handbars, seats with backrest, Ladakh pannier with storage boxes. A week prior to the ride, I took my bike to the mechanic and did a full checkup and servicing and fitted the carrier to it as I wanted to ride with it at least for a week to get used to it, as it was wider than other carriers. All set, and my bike was ready for Ladakh. Day 1, the ride was from Mumbai till Ahmedabad. My parents came down to see me off. The ride began by 9:30 a.m. and I was happy that finally, after 3 years of wait, watching hundreds of Ladakh road trip videos, reading hundreds of vlogs, going through thousands of photos on Google, I was on a trip to witness all these things by myself. Earlier this year, I had done a solo trip, Mumbai Run of Kutch Mumbai, so this route from Mumbai to Ahmedabad was a familiar route to me. Seeing me riding with all the gears and luggage mounted on my machine, many people used to slow down their car and give thumbs up. One person lowered the window glass and offered me a dairy milk saying kuch meeta ho jaye. Felt good at the person's gesture on road as I got many thumbs up. Was enjoying the moment as expected. During the whole ride I faced rain many times and finally after covering 536 kilometers reached Ahmedabad by 8:30 pm, checked into a decent hotel and informed home that I have reached safely. Day 2. Today's ride was to reach Udaipur from here. So got up early and started the ride with an expectation that there would be no rain today. But the moment I got down from the hotel, it started drizzling. I continued to ride, and before entering the Rajasthan border, I stopped by a hotel to have breakfast. Just few kilometers on the road, it started raining so heavily that the visibility dropped to 5 to 10 feet. In midst of that, my bike got stalled in a place where there were no humans around. It had no signs of heartbeat in it. Found one under construction building, pushed my bike till there. I had one option to check whether the fuse has gone out. Opened the fuse box and found the fuse has melted. Luckily I had one extra, so I replaced it with one new and thank God my machine started again. Continued to ride. Within a few kilometers even this fuse melted, so I had to direct the wire. Post lunch I continued towards Udaipur and reached by 4:30 pm. Booked a room, freshened up, got my bike checked for the fuse problem and got some additional fuse as well, and moved towards Udaipur Lake Palace. So for the next hour, explored the Lake Palace, got few photos clicked and roam around those area. Finally had a good dinner at a hotel nearby and returned to the room. Day 3. Today the ride is from Udaipur to Jaipur. This was one of the most scenic route I have traveled till now, and the roads were awesome. After having breakfast, I was enjoying the ride. While doing so, I found some traffic ahead. So I kept my bike on the right. At an intersection, a policeman stopped me and said, "If you continue to ride by this route, you will find traffic for several kilometers." And he directed me to take a detour to a road which goes through some village. It was an additional 20-kilometer ride, and the road was very bad condition. And there was no help around. It took an hour to cover this distance, after which I was back on good road, and by evening I reached Jaipur. It is truly a pink city, according to its name, and the richness of the city was clearly visible. After unloading the luggage, I went towards Hawa Mahal, after which I tried to go to Jaipur Fort but it was closed by then. So I decided to go to a mechanic as I had some knocking issue with my bike. Got the carburetor cleaned and replaced the spark plug as well. Luckily this problem didn't stall the bike on that village road. Returned to the hotel and it was time to a good sleep for the day. Day 4. So today's ride was from Jaipur to Agra via Abaneri, which has a step well in it. Started the ride with an excitement that I was going to see Taj Mahal today. In between Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan border, there is a place called Abaneri which has a step well. It was built in some 9th or 10th century by a king Chand and has a total of 3,500 steps, taking the depth of the well to 100 feet down from the ground surface. It is also known as Chand Bauri. After visiting this place, came back to the main highway and in few hours reached UP, found a hotel, unloaded all my luggage into the room and finally moved towards Taj Mahal. It has two types of ticket, one is for 40 rupees and another is a VIP pass which is above 400. For 40 rupees you will have to wait on the queue to enter and 400 rupees ticket you can enter directly. The Taj Mahal is an absolute beauty. It was maintained well. Even the gardens around it was maintained really very well. One cannot enter the Taj Mahal with shoes. Either you have to remove it or get a shoe cover for it. The details of construction was awesome. After spending an hour, moved towards Agra Fort and by the time I reached it was closed. So clicked some photos from outside and came back to the hotel. Day 5. Agra to Delhi. I wanted to take the Yamuna Express Highway as it will be smooth and easy ride till Delhi, but followed the signboard which directed towards Delhi and ended up taking the other highway which passes through Faridabad. The roads were very bad and there was so many construction going on the road. I was already started riding around 50 kilometers on this road, so chose to continue on this road. To make things worse, it started raining. After some 100 kilometers of struggle, reached Faridabad, where on the way so many flyovers were being constructed, so had to travel beneath them. But the road below it was waterlogged and the surface of the road were covered with loose stones, so it was difficult to cross, and to add to it, traffic had piled up. Anyhow reached Delhi, but I managed to book a hotel in Mahipalpur which was still 25 km far. But the subway through which I had to pass was under 3 feet water because of the rain, so I stood there for some time. Then I inquired for some alternate route and found one. By evening I reached the hotel and was dead tired of today's ride and decided to spend the remaining time in the hotel itself. Day 6. Idle day in Delhi. According to the plan, it was an idle day in Delhi, so I decided to visit few places around the city. I had visited India Gate earlier, so decided to skip it and headed towards Jama Masjid. For that I took a metro from Aerocity to New Delhi. Then I took an auto. Jama Masjid is really big mosque and quite old, and it is one of the biggest mosques in India. It started raining heavily, so I had to wait till the rain stops. Meanwhile I had a nice lunch and by an hour or so I left for the Red Fort, which was bang opposite to Jama Masjid. But it was closed for visitors till August 15 for some security measures. It was already evening, so returned to the hotel thinking to see the remaining places tomorrow. Day 7. Today the first place to visit was Qutub Minar, so took the metro as that was the cheapest and best option available to travel in Delhi. After getting there, got the entry tickets, kept my bag at the baggage counter as bags are not allowed inside. Qutub Minar is a nice marvel of construction which has so many Arabic words inscribed on it. The construction around it has been destroyed, but the minar is quite fine and good. It's really a tall structure. Clicked few photos around it and moved towards Safdarjung Tomb, which is not far from Qutub Minar. A few stations ahead, when I reached Safdarjung Tomb, there weren't much tourists there. This tomb had a fountain in its front and a garden around it. These places can be quite interesting for architecture students. So after some time moved towards Humayun's tomb, so got a bus this time. Humayun's tomb is just opposite to Hazrat Nizamuddin Dargah. This one was a huge one with acres of gardens around it and it was maintained well. The pattern of construction gives you the idea of Mughals construction. Exploring Delhi was done now, so I went back to the hotel. Day 8. Today the rain welcomed me in the beginning itself. The roads were good. Plan was to ride till Shimla via Chandigarh. I rode almost 200 km in the rain and by afternoon reached Chandigarh and for lunch stopped at a dhaba where a person in that hotel asked me, "Are you traveling alone?" "All the way from Mumbai." "We don't travel for 5 kilometers alone. How could you do it so long?" And continue the ride. Now Shimla was just 90 kilometers from there, but it took me around 4 hours to cover it, while Delhi to Chandigarh was 200 kilometers I did in 4 hours. The road was bad with construction work going on it, and to make things worse, traffic was piled up due to weekend. Anyhow, managed to reach Shimla and by evening went to the Mall Road and spent some time there. Day 9, from Shimla to Manali. Changed the engine oil as I had almost done more than 2000 kilometers by now. For the first time, I saw a board in which it was mentioned Leh as 500 kilometers. I became so happy that I started riding a bit faster. As the roads were wet during one of the turns, my bike skidded and it was the first fall of the ride. I went rolling onto the left and my bike went to the right. The pannier on it hit a vehicle. Nothing happened to me and everything was fine as I was wearing riding gears, but I had to pay some money to the car owner for the dent. So I decided to ride carefully as the mountain area had started. For the first time I was witnessing such huge mountains. Kullu is really scenic place. You will find river gushing through the side of the road. The moment you reach Manali, you will come across a checkpost where you will have to pay 100 rupees as green tax to enter Manali. After checking into a hotel, had a chat with few guys that they said we need to get a permit to cross the Rohtang Pass. It's good that they informed me, or else after reaching there I would have to come back 50 kilometers back to Manali to get the permit, as I wasn't aware about the permit issue. Day 10 in Manali. Today my first task is to get the permit and service my bike, as the roads and terrains would be tougher and there will be hardly any mechanic on the route ahead. So went first to the tourism office and got my permit and headed towards the Royal Enfield service center in Manali and got the brakes fixed, clutch and accelerator cables changed. The front oil seal started leaking, which he said he didn't have the oil seal, but then I requested them, without it would be difficult to ride on the rough patches towards Leh. So he went again to see it and got it. Those guys were really helpful. Went to the market and purchased jerry cans and filled it with petrol. Took some chocolates and dates. Also took a pack of camphor, as these will be necessary while riding. Camphor can be used where there is less oxygen in the air. So all said, and I was ready for the ultimate ride the next day.